Russia actually going to be? It's not looking too good, Precious Watson.
On Wednesday, 3 Russian servicemen and 4 gunmen were killed in a shootout in southern Russia during a sweep for militants ahead of next month's Sochi Winter Olympics. According to Russia's National Anti-Terrorism Committee, the dead gunmen included a man accused of carrying out a car bomb attack late last year, which killed 3 people. Russia is on high alert after 2 suicide bombings in southern Russia last month, which has fueled security concerns before the Olympics. Islamist militants waging an insurgency in the North Caucasus have threatened to attack. With IRN USA News, I'm Precious Watson.
Reporting on the security for the Sochi Winter Olympics. And I'm Sean Scott Ferguson with IRN USA News.
I had crunchy Belvita breakfast biscuits this morning. Then what did I do? Did a sit-up, did my makeup late to train, so I stood up, made a guy think I was into sports. Had a meeting where we met, then a meeting after that, took a break, and then we had another meeting.
That didn't rhyme.
Yeah, sorry. Those meetings left my brain a bit blurg.
Crunchy Belvita breakfast biscuits are made with delicious ingredients and carefully baked to release steady energy all morning long. Belvita.
Morning win.
The American Veterans Center needs your help to preserve and protect our veterans' legacy so future generations will remember their service and sacrifice. You can help the center accomplish this with a gift of $25. For your support, you'll receive a free USS Indianapolis hat and commemorative book. Just go to AmericanVeteransCenter.org and click the donate button. That's AmericanVeteransCenter.org.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now, it's Car Concerns with the award-winning new car dealer, Harry Douglas. And now, your car star, here's Harry.
Okay, move that microphone in just a little bit closer here. Just a little bit closer. UPS delivers a warning. I guess this is on their stock price. I'm watching the Squawk Roadmap. Let's go to myrond-stokes, Global Heavy Lift. Myron, you and I had a heavy conversation yesterday about electric automobiles. Or should I say battery-driven automobiles. Are you with me, Myron? Well, anyhow, I don't hear Myron on the other end, but anyhow, Myron and I had a long conversation via the telephone yesterday on electric automobiles. And I'm trying to find my notes from that conversation. Yeah, I take notes. But anyhow, we come to I come to the generalization, as I did months ago, that these electric-driven, or what they call electric-driven automobiles, are merely nothing more than battery-driven automobiles. Yes, lithium-ion batteries power these. The same lithium-ion battery that powers your cell phone. And they don't call my cell phone an electric phone. Do you get what I'm saying, Myron? I mean, they're lithium-ion battery-driven automobiles. They're really not. The only thing electric about them is when you plug the charger into the wall.
Well, of course, there are several variations on that theme, as you talk about the Tesla being all electric as opposed to a hybrid Volt or a hybrid Prius.
Right.
But we're really not talking about new technology here. It's just the will to go forward with a serious effort to get vehicles that are propelled by alternative propulsion technologies. But Harry, we talked a lot in depth about the Tesla, for example.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him while you were sitting up there. I told him that you and I had talked in depth yesterday about the electrification of the automobile, and I was looking for my notes here because it was a pretty lengthy conversation.
Yeah, and especially about where you said that Elon Musk had taken pains to state that the recall, of some weeks ago was not associated with the vehicle itself, and he was not being facetious. He said it was tied to the charger, and with a simple upgrade of the charger's software, the problem was resolved. So he is correct in saying that no, it wasn't the vehicle. It was the charger. So of course the stock has gone back up.
The stock did $10 yesterday.
Okay,
it did $10. Right. I think it's at 171. Is what I watch this stock intently every single day because we're heavily invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a stock you need to look at, Plug Power, on the NASDAQ.
Okay, well,
PLUG.
And of course, they produce chargers.
What, Plug Power does?
And what does you said Plug Power, right?
Plug Power. Evidently it's a company. And I just seen it go across the board. I'd never seen it before. And the stock was trading in the $3 range. Right there's I don't know, I'm going to look at it.
Okay, well, at least by the name. I've not heard of them, but they're on the big board. But by the name, it is. I would assume that it is a company producing chargers. Harry, I'd like to, if I could, before we go a little bit further. You remember we were talking about that horrible accident of the Formula One racing star Michael Schumacher?
Sure.
Okay, and I just wanted to say this. Well, he is still in a coma 18 days later. And it's an induced coma, but there are concerns that he would remain asleep, that he would remain in that coma. But it is, but as a brief statement, the induced coma is not fraught with the difficulties that some are assuming. They've had to induce the coma, and the brain has remarkable repair properties. But if I could, number one, we want to wish Michael Schumacher and his family all the best, and the good people at Mercedes-Benz. And I wanted to throw out to the doctors at Grenoble Hospital that there was some very advanced work done in brain injury attenuation. And if they are listening, I would suggest that they pursue the work or look at the work of Dr. Paul Muselaar, formerly of Wayne State University. And he was experimenting with an intervention known as PEG-SOD, or polyethylene glycol superoxide dismutase, which attenuates the biochemical cascade that has been found to occur after a penetrating or blunt force trauma. I would just ask them to look into that, and it may provide a means to accelerate the brain repair process. That's what I wanted to say. Again, we wish him well. Okay.
I hope they're listening.
I do hope they're listening, because I worked with him about 20 years ago when I was at Newsweek.
If you'll get me, hey, Myron, if you'll get me an email of somewhere to send that to,
okay.
I'll send the rebroadcast of this show directly to them.
All right, that'll be great. And we could send it through Mercedes, and then, of course, I have colleagues in the medical research area that can get that. So let's just send him this. And I believe they might be a bit surprised at the potential good results of this strategy with PEG-SOD. It showed promise about 20 years ago, and it would have been better had they gotten it administered within 45 minutes. But it can have post-injury benefits. Boy,
that would be hard to administer within 45 minutes of the accident, wouldn't you?
No,
anybody.
No, not at all. The thing is that there is a golden hour as far as when there is serious blunt force trauma or penetrating trauma. The big problem is, Harry, you've known over the years people who have been in accidents and they seem fine as far as cognitive ability. And then about an hour later, they deteriorated, perhaps to a vegetative state, vegetative being described on the Glasgow scale that determines the level of cognitive ability on a brain injured person, and that would be in like the 1 to 7 range on the Glasgow scale, which is 1 to 15, with 15 being the highest level of cognition. But it was determined that if Pegsod could be administered right at the site of the accident, and it would attenuate this biochemical cascade, which contains oxygen-free radicals, and the process is that biochemical cascade removes the myelin sheathing on axonal connectors, the telephone wires connecting brain hemispheres, and the myelin sheathing acts as a kind of insulation, just like an electrical wire. But if it were possible to minimize that cascade and neutralize it, the deterioration of the myelin sheathing could be attenuated and, in fact, even reversed. So earlier they thought that it could only have a benefit if it were administered within that golden hour. And the technicians, the paramedics, were being set up to be able to deliver Pegsod at the accident site or get them to the hospital as absolutely quickly as possible, but you got that golden hour. So, and then further research determined that even hours or even days post-injury, Pegsod could have a beneficial effect in terms of accelerating patient recovery and minimizing the damage to the brain. So I'm saying that there is a possibility that even 18 days later, that Pegsod could have a beneficial effect.
So I'm sure they're looking into all avenues there to get him back online because, but don't they put you in a coma state to give the body a chance to repair itself?
Absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with putting the body into a coma state. The body puts itself into a coma state it shuts down all non-essential functions so that the brain can concentrate on repairing itself. And it does have extraordinary capabilities of self-repair.
Hey, Myron, we got to go to the first break here. I'm talking to Myrond-Stokes, global heavy lifting. Hey, we'll be right back after the break. I'm Harry Douglas. This is Car Concerns Radio. When your money's on the line, stop dreaming, start driving. Be right back after the break.
Take advantage of the Car Concerns Radio USA 10-year anniversary special, a 15-minute segment heard in 33 markets on a nationally syndicated radio show for only $125. This is radio that makes it economical and affordable for you to get the word out about what you do, driving your message home. It's the 10-year anniversary special, just $125 for a 15-minute airtime segment. Segments can be booked for a later date. There are limited spots available. Call Car Concerns Radio USA now, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. That's 855-227-2662.
Ah, the sound of small business, getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157. Call now. That's 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157.
With over 1 million products, Granger's your one-stop shop to help keep your facility running. And no one has more of the best brands, like Fluke, Grainger has an enormous selection of Fluke testing tools, including the VTO2 visual thermometer, a breakthrough in temperature measurement, the brands you want, the products you need, the good-looking radio guy you love to hear. Okay, I added that part. Buy your supplies smarter. Call, visit a branch, or click Grainger.com/Fluke today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
This is Car Concerns with your host, Harry Douglas. Now, here's Harry.
Okay, here we are back with Car Concerns Radio. I'm talking to myrond-stokes. Myron, I'm looking at the Car Concerns Radio Reporter USA just came out during the break there. Here's the headline this morning. It concerns Michigan. Snyder calls for tax relief and more educational aid. Is he running for re-election?
Well, the thing is, I'll just say this: everything can't be politicized, but like we were talking with Dr. Sheila Ronis of Walsh College in Troy, Michigan.
Yes.
Remember, she said that it is not just for Michigan, but the entire educational system and process in the United States needs to be overhauled rather immediately in terms of making higher education more accessible to everyone, and it has to be a comprehensive approach. It's not that it is totally in the dumps, but the thing is, the governor is correct. It is the taxes, of course, is in every campaign speech. But a concern about educational opportunity, access, and is a legitimate concern, wouldn't you say?
I would say, yes. And I read this headline and I see where he's calling for tax relief, and that just has to be a sales point for his reelection.
Well, I truly don't know what his motivations are there, because I tend
to make it look like he's not a tax and spend guy.
Yeah, well, just remember, it is difficult to get through any year without talking about tax relief, but it's almost like a kind of a mantra that must be stated at some point to make sure that you're in line with perhaps the party line. But I will say that I completely agree with him on an improvement in educational access, particularly higher education. And, but what his motivations relative to tax relief? Well, punch in tax relief on Google, and how many results do you think you're going to get? Maybe about 120 million?
I can remember when he first took office in his first 6 months, 7 months, I don't know, first year, And I read in the Detroit News where he was calling for Michigan to have a higher gasoline tax. And the American Motorist Vote Campaign immediately went after him, and he backed off of it.
Well, and that's also been another typical ploy as far as the easiest route to bring in additional funds.
Yeah, tax the American motorist. I'm not for that in any form or fashion.
Well, it's again, no matter what process or ploy anyone in a administrative or a position of governance, there's always the concern, about so-called balancing the budget. But I would just say that he is. I'll agree with him on the educational process. The taxing aspect is just another. Just sounds like part of the typical rhetoric. I don't know precisely that is true, but it's in line with what almost everyone across the country in a position of authority or governance tends to say. So,
well, I know they're always looking for revenue streams so they can waste your money, but they seem to always pick on the American motorist. Hey, I'm for sin taxing. I'm for taxing alcohol. I'm for taxing beer. I'm for taxing cigarettes. But I'm not for taxing gasoline or fuel because the single mom out there with 2 kids.
Right.
Working at Walmart. She has to have a car to go back and forth to work. She has to put gasoline in that car.
And gasoline, that is, as we talked about a couple of months ago, that if gasoline were reduced to $2.50 a gallon right now, it certainly wouldn't negatively impact the oil company profitability. In fact, it'd probably sell more.
Absolutely. It'd probably up driving, but the oil companies, gosh, we can talk about that for an hour, but hey, they're making billions and billions and billions, and they're giving a lot of that money back to the senators and congressmen running for re-election. I just don't, if I was a congressman up in Washington, D.C., I would be looking for every way I could to cut the price of a gallon of gas.
Well,
not everybody's rich. Not everybody can afford $4 a gallon.
Well, again, like we discussed before, we know that one of the easiest ways to induce an identifiable, observable enhancement of the economy would be to do something as simple as reducing the price of gasoline to, say, like $2.50. They would be surprised at the result, since people would feel more comfortable with their finances and they would be inclined to even spend more. So it would probably have the opposite effect of what most people think. From a reputational standpoint, the oil companies would look like heroes, would they not?
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you 100% there.
So I say, if since it is inarguable that the major oil companies are making larger profits than they ever have made in the history of the world.
Okay, let's get back on this electrification of the automobile. I mean, what were we talking about yesterday? You made some great points.
Okay, we were not only, you had mentioned, of course, the approach by Elon Musk and his approach as far as addressing the recall of the Charger, not the car.
Right.
I'm impressed with his public relations acumen. I am. And although I had, in a sense, put my money on the success of Fisker, but they've gone by the wayside. But Tesla at the time was running a close second. So I believe that Tesla is here to stay. They have done it right. But the one thing that I kind of disagreed about, remember last year when they had to ground the Dreamliner, the 787 Dreamliner?
Yes, yes.
With its lithium-ion batteries.
Yes, we talked about that on the show here, I guess in March.
Yeah. And your point was well understood, as well as that of Marianne Schiavo. But with Elon Musk saying to Boeing, reaching out to Boeing saying, I'll help you with that, that was rather disingenuous because with a Tesla, if there is a problem, as we talked about yesterday, you can pull over to the side of the road. Unfortunately, if a similar issue occurs at altitude, 35,000 feet, 600 knots, in 40 below temperatures, if that occurs, you can't pull the Dreamliner over to the side of the road to check.
Hey, we got to take a break here, Myron. Hey, I don't know what's going on in the stock market before the opening bell here, folks, but it looks like the Bank of America is making a move. It's at $17 a stock. That's a $10 stock. What are you guys thinking on this? Anyhow, there goes Twitter across the board, 63.57. It's up $3 in overnight trading. I'll be right back after the break.
Take advantage of the Car Concerns Radio USA 10-year anniversary special, a 15-minute segment heard in 33 markets on a nationally syndicated radio show for only $125. This is radio that makes it economical and affordable for you to get the word out about what you do, driving your message home. It's the 10-year anniversary special, just $125 for a 15-minute airtime segment. Segments can be booked for a later date. There are limited spots available. Call Car Concerns Radio USA now, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. That's 855-227-2662.
Ah, the sound of small business getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157. Call now. That's 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157.
With over 1 million products, Grainger's your one-stop shop to help keep your facility running. And no one has more of the best brands, like Fluke. Grainger has an enormous selection of Fluke testing tools, including the VTO2 visual thermometer, a breakthrough in temperature measurement. The brands you want, the products you need, the good-looking radio guy you love to hear. Okay, I added that part. Buy your supplies smarter. Call, visit a branch, or click Grainger.com/Fluke today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Harry Douglas of Car Concerns Radio has been helping the American motorist with their auto financing problem since 2008, when the American Motorist Vote Campaign was founded. Thousands of American motorists have not only lost their jobs in this economy, but they've also lost their homes and vehicles due to repossession. If you are behind on your payments and facing possible repossession of your automobile, you need to contact Car Concerns Consulting, 1-865-622-3032. Harry's always looking out for you. Harry has financed thousands of vehicles for the retail automotive consumer over the years as an award-winning new car dealer. If anyone knows the ins and outs of automobile financing, it's Harry. Let Harry put these unknown banking loopholes to work for you. If you need the auto financing fix, just call Harry. 1-865-622-3032.
This is Car Concerns with your host, Harry Douglas. Now, here's Harry.
Okay, here we are back with Car Concerns Radio. Hey, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/Car Concerns, all one word, CarConcerns. That's right, don't forget the S. You'll never get there. But anyhow, hey, Myron, we were talking about, before we went to the break here, we were talking about Don't Fly, the 787, isn't it?
787 Dreamliner.
Yeah.
In our discussion yesterday, like I said, when we were on the show on January 6th, I'd mentioned, that a current consequence of outsourcing taken to the extreme was 787 Dreamliner, and we had also issued an analysis in June of 2012 expressing concerns about this unprecedented use of structural composites and metal in aircraft structures. Right. The Dreamliner does have an unprecedented percentage of structural composites conjoined with metal. And unfortunately, in order to get the aircraft certified, since there was not enough known and there was not enough expertise on the part of inspectors, of government inspectors, and in terms of, okay, we want to certify this aircraft, but how do we do that? There is not enough known. As the Government Accountability Office stated in 2011, the airworthiness certificate was pushed through, but we don't know at this point. We don't know about the long-term viability, reliability, and structural integrity of this use of structural composites conjoined with metal. And as a colleague said in the aerospace industry, well, it's simple physics. You can't put something that doesn't move, i.e. structural composites, on top of something that does. So there will be issues, continuing issues, and as was demonstrated by a large body panel falling off a 787 in flight back in October. But there has been this rash of problems not only with the structural aspect, but then you have the other 8,000-pound gorilla in the room, the lithium-ion battery. The simple thing is, rather than Boeing continuing to deal with this clear problem and dangerous problem, we said on the show on 1/6, I said that according to colleagues in industry, the battery problem had not been fixed, and that the containment apparatus that was approved by the FAA was really inadequate. And 8 days later, there was on the 14th of January, there at Narita Airport, a Japan Airlines 787 that was about to depart. Smoke was observed as coming from the venting area for the lithium-ion battery area.
Right.
And the diagnostic showed that it was battery related. So there again was another grounding, in addition to the grounding, a couple of weeks before. of a Norwegian air shuttle Dreamliner at Fort Lauderdale. So the short story is this, Harry. Boeing would show responsibility if it simply dumped the lithium-ion battery as Airbus with its A350 of a similar design architecture. If they just simply changed over to a far safer battery like nickel-cadmium or nickel metal hydride, which are shown to have similar power densities, and the rapidity of charge advantage of lithium-ion has to be eclipsed by the safety concerns. You're talking two batteries, NiCad, nickel metal hydride, which are especially stable as opposed to lithium-ion. So Boeing can remove a great deal of difficulty by simply switching over to NiCad as Airbus did, or maybe even nickel metal hydride, and it would eliminate so many of the problems associated with that battery. I mean, we know, Harry, that this all for the past several months, this battery has been a huge problem, and we've been dodging bullets as far as passenger safety was concerned. No, we weren't dodging bullets. We were dodging howitzer shell. It's only a matter of time before an in-flight fire occurs, and it will not be contained by that apparatus because, these batteries, when there's thermal runaway, you're registering temperatures of 2,800 to 3,000 degrees, and I don't care what they have it in. It's simply going to fall through the fuselage, thus upsetting airflow. A depressurization, the whole thing. It will come apart in the air, like the de Havilland Comet in 1952 when they lost a couple and found out that it was due to rapid depressurization as a result of metal fatigue. So we're looking at a similar situation. This is not alarmist. This is a reality. And one of the simplest things that Boeing can do is get rid of the lithium-ion battery, and they can cancel that long-term contract with the Japanese battery firm, and be done with it. From a reputational standpoint, from a concern for their passengers, it would be the best thing to do. Because, Harry, I will say again, it is only a matter of time before one of these aircraft comes apart at altitude.
Hey, Myron, I'm thinking of what we talked about yesterday. It's one thing to be on the side of the road in a Chevrolet Volt like I found myself, but it's another thing to be up in the sky at 35,000 feet and have a battery failure.
Right, not just a failure. We're talking thermal runaway, and these are battery fires, as the first responders at Boston Logan found, to their chagrin, if not horror. They couldn't even see the source, the ignition source, because the smoke was so thick. But then they used thermal imaging and found in the center of the smoke, a white image. It showed temperatures, 2,800 plus, and after they didn't put it out, it burned out on its own. They found metal globules that that would have only melted at 2,800 degrees and above. So I don't know how to stress this enough, that the easiest fix is to go to NiCad right now without reservation, without hesitation. Otherwise, it's not a matter of if, Gary. It is a matter of when.
I noticed that Boeing stock just keeps on rolling, though. They've not had any downplay.
It doesn't matter whether the stock goes up and down. We have to separate the stock market concerns versus human concerns. This has nothing to do with profitability or fiduciary responsibility. The human comes first, and we should not be concerned at all about profitability. One of the best, from a reputational defense standpoint, the best thing that Boeing could do is to simply exchange this battery, this problem-plagued, dangerous battery, with NiCad or nickel metal hydride, and that's not going to affect the aircraft adversely. Not at all. I mean, from the standpoint of rapidity of recharge of the battery pack, or power density, it's just simply not there. At least if it's there, it is negligible, and it does not supersede the need to protect the passengers. That's what's said here. So I hope that they will finally realize that if they do not take these steps, these 8,000-pound gorillas, lithium-ion batteries, and then the issue of whether or not we know enough about this unprecedented use of structural composites and aluminum and typical aircraft metal, titanium, in an aircraft structure. It would be. I just don't know how much better to reiterate this for those involved and concerned.
But these 787 Dreamliners, they're flying today, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And they're doing transcontinental. They're flying across the oceans.
Yes, they are.
Wow. Hate to be at 40,000 feet in one of those and it come apart in the air. Anyhow, I'm talking to myrond-stokes, heavy global lift. Did I get that right, Myron?
Global heavy lift holding.
Right. We'll be right back after the break. I'm Harry Douglas. This is Car Concerns Radio. Hey, I got a stock play for you. I'm going to play it big. You can play it if you want to. I'll be right back after the break.
Take advantage of the Car Concerns Radio USA 10-year anniversary special, a 15-minute segment heard in 33 markets on a nationally syndicated radio show for only $125. This is radio that makes it economical and affordable for you to get the word out about what you do, driving your message home. It's the 10-year anniversary special, just $125 for a 15-minute airtime segment. Segments can be booked for a later date. There are limited spots available. Call Car Concerns Radio USA now, 1-855-CAR-CONCERNS. That's 855-227-2662.
Ah, the sound of small business getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Moms of America, stand up and stop taking abuse from your kids.
I pledge never to let my kid disrespect me ever again.
I pledge to stop letting my daughter walk all over me.
I pledge to stop living in fear of my son's anger.
I pledge never to feel like a bad parent ever again. Because I'm not.
I pledge to stop letting my child's behavior control my home.
I pledge to be a mom with kids who listen, a total transformation mom.
I'm Janet Lehman, co-creator of the Total Transformation Program. We created the Total Transformation to help parents with difficult child behavior. Now I'm giving it away free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. We'll let you keep it for free.
Call 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157. Call now. That's 1-800-287-9157. That's 1-800-287-9157.
With over 1 million products, Grainger's your one-stop shop to help keep your facility running. And no one has more of the best brands. Like Fluke, Grainger has an enormous selection of Fluke testing tools, including the VTO2 visual thermometer, a breakthrough in temperature measurement. The brands you want, the products you need, the good-looking radio guy you love to hear. Okay, I added that part. Buy your supplies smarter. Call, visit a branch, or click Grainger.com/Fluke today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Geico says, let's make life simpler.
You need to buy something, but you don't want to make a mistake. So what do? Scour the web? Collect sales circulars? Ask your brother-in-law? How about this? When it comes to car insurance, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. I repeat, 97%. So make it simple. Just ask a friend who has Geico. Then click or call. You could make it 98%.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Harry Douglas of Car Concerns Radio has been helping the American motorist with their auto financing problem since 2008, when the American Motorist Vote Campaign was founded. Thousands of American motorists have not only lost their jobs in this economy, but they've also lost their homes and vehicles due to repossession. If you are behind on your payments and facing possible repossession of your automobile, you need to contact Car Concerns Consulting, 1-865-622-3032. Harry's always looking out for you. Harry has financed thousands of vehicles for the retail automotive consumer over the years as an award-winning new car dealer. If anyone knows the ins and outs of automobile financing, it's Harry. Let Harry put these unknown banking loopholes to work for you. If you need the auto financing fix, just call Harry. 1-865-622-3032.
This is Car Concerns with your host, Harry Douglas. Now, here's Harry.
Okay, like I told you right before the break, I told you I was going to give you one of my Car Concerns Auto Index 100 fun plays that I'll be doing this right after the show, folks. And I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but it looks so cheap, I have to get in here. And it's they had their IPO this morning. It's EP Energy. E as in Edward, P as in Paul. EP Energy. It's a North Bakken, North Dakota stock play. I think it's going to be big. It's right now. It's opened at $19.90. I think next week we'll be talking about $50 a share. What do you think, Myron?
Well, you seem to track those. You seem to have an ability to identify stocks with strong potential, and you're usually right. So
I'm going to do a little bit more research, but I'm giving this out over the radio. And you play it like you want to, folks. You invest as much as you want to, but I'm thinking right after the show, just to play with it, I'm going to put $10,000 in it.
Well, that's confidence, Harry. That is confidence.
And then another one I'm looking at is that Plug Power.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one that's come across the board that I need to do some research on. But right here is a stock that you can own plenty of for a little bit of money. And if it does well, you'll hit it big. Fuel Cell Energy. Fuel Cell Energy. It's going across the board at $1.32 a share.
Well, Harry, considering the fact that as you are in total agreement with, the country needs to be far less dependent on oil, and any companies that are actively involved in pursuit of that quest, deserve support. So, and we just have to be more environmentally responsible in terms of the transportation technologies that we're currently utilizing.
Well, here's what I like to do, Myron. I like to put these stocks out here. I did this with Tesla, especially in the third quarter last year. Mm-hmm. I like to pick a few stocks like this EP Energy. It's at $19.90, going across the board now. It's a North Dakota Bakken oil play. I think it goes a lot higher real quick, and I like to see the power of radio. I like to see if talking about these stocks, like I do, actually improves their value. I can remember I did it with AutoNation back about 3 years ago, and I sent AutoNation stock through the roof.
Wow.
What do you think?
Well, Harry, you have a global audience. Let's not forget that. And we really are a planet where, well, you know the expression, we are 6 people removed from knowing everyone on the planet, and there certainly is a degree of viability to that statement. So you have global radio. The world is a connected world. You're being heard across the planet. People have similar concerns about the economy and recommendations on where they should go as far as where to invest. So they're offering sustainable, viable advice, in their quest to identify the right stock or stocks to invest in. Obviously, you're doing a service.
Well, I'm really promoting the subscription to my Auto Index 100 newsletter that I put out at the first of every quarter, and I'll be working on these 3 stocks over the weekend, and if I pull back on them, I'll tell you on Monday and why I did it.
Okay. Hey, Harry, you've gone to the Black Tie charity preview at the North American International Auto Show, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I have done that before.
Well, this is the first year in a long time when I won't be there. But to all my colleagues who will be in attendance, colleagues and friends who will be in attendance this evening, have a good time. It is the world's largest black tie event. Were you aware of that?
I was aware of that, and let's see. Back in 2009, I believe, did they have a GM style event this year?
Well, there was the Eyes on Design event. I don't know if they had the GM style event, but there were, I think there was Eyes on Design, and let's see, there was an award given there. But I will hazard a guess that yes, there was multiple opportunities. Of course, General Motors has become a lot more aggressive in terms of saying, we're GM and we're back.
They'd cut this style show out for the last couple of years due to the fact that they were back trying to just get back on the road to prosperity.
It was appropriate. It was appropriate that they took a low-key approach to matters like that, because there's always someone in a position of governance saying that, well, wait a minute, you're talking to us about the so-called bailout, which it really wasn't, because Michigan, most people don't know, is a donor state. A donor state is a state that gives more to the federal government in terms of tax revenues and what have you than what they receive from any federally funded program. So they are a donor state, and one of the rare states that do that. So it was incorrectly called a bailout. It was simply a kind of a payback. That said,
well, it was really a structured loan, if you want to. Right. But my only problem with that is that General Motors is stiffing the U.S. taxpayer for $10.9 billion. I'm not all about that. If Mary wants to really prove her roots, she'll figure out a way to make the U.S. taxpayer, the ones who saved their butt in 2009, she'll figure out a way to make the taxpayer whole.
And the simplest way to do that is by moving the bulk of their manufacturing back to the United States, where they and other U.S. companies have foolishly given up their advanced technology in terms of production processes. Ford Motor Company even gave the Chinese access to the rather extraordinary flexible manufacturing process that was developed by several Ford engineers and executives that I know, and it is 5 years later, it has reflected the quality of their product, conjoined with the fact that their company is run by an aeronautical...
Hey, Myron, we've come to the end. It goes so fast when Myron D. Stokes is my special guest on Car Concerns Radio. Hey, Myron, thank you so much. What's your website, Myron?
Okay. Emotionreports.com and blog.
Emotionreports.com and blog. Anyhow, I'm Harry Douglas, Car Concerns Radio. Stay with me 24/7 at carconcerns.com, and I'll be commenting there over the weekend. Stay safe, buckle up, don't drink and drive. I'll talk to you on Monday.
The opinions you hear on the Business Talk Radio Network are those of the host, callers, and guests, and not necessarily those of this station, Business Talk Radio Network, its management, or advertisers. The information on the Business Talk Radio Network does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation